Welcome back, viewers. Let's talk about Joshimath. Alarm bells are ringing across this town because cracks have emerged in hundreds of houses across the town. Just look at these pictures on your screen. The cracks due to landslides caused panic. Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami visited the affected areas across the town and assured action. The Chief Minister has ordered temporary rehabilitation centers at safe locations, aid camps and medical facilities including facilities for airlifting operations, ordered evacuation from danger zones, called for activating the disaster control room immediately and drainage plans in less affected areas. The Chief Minister also promised to evacuate 600 families who have been affected.
जोशीमठ शहर हमारा बहुत ही पौराणिक शहर है और धार्मिक रूप से, आध्यात्मिक रूप से और मैं कहूँ कि सीमांत क्षेत्र के कारण भी एक बहुत बड़ा केंद्र है। और अभी चूंकि तात्कालिक स्थिति में ये आपदा आई है, तो इस आपदा में हमारा सबसे पहला काम तो यह है कि सभी को हम कैसे सुरक्षित कर पाएं, जान माल की सुरक्षा हो। और जो नुकसान हुआ है, क्योंकि उसके लिए हमारे भूवैज्ञानिक बहुत सारी संस्थाओं के इसकी आखिर किन कारणों से ये हो रहा है, लेकिन अभी हमारी प्रायोरिटी है कि जिन घरों पर ये खतरा आया हुआ है, जहाँ भी दरारें पड़ी हुई हैं, उन सभी को सुरक्षित स्थानों पर निकालें, उनको सुरक्षित करें। बहुत ठंड का मौसम है और बर्फबारी होने की भी संभावना है, इसलिए सभी को सुरक्षित स्थान मिले, ठंड से बचाव हो, भोजन मिले, उन सब की व्यवस्था में हम लोग लगे। बाकी दीर्घकालिक योजना पर भी काम कर रहे हैं कि अगर यहाँ से सभी को पुनर्वास करना पड़ेगा, जिन जिन घरों में नुकसान हो रहा है, जो इसकी जद में आए हुए हैं, तो उस दिशा में भी हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं। जोशीमठ को लेकर हम पूरी गंभीरता के साथ काम कर रहे हैं। यहाँ हमारा पहला काम है कि जो भी लोग उस खतरे की जद में आ रहे हैं, लगभग 600 परिवार ऐसे हैं जो जहाँ से पानी का रिसाव हो रहा है, जहाँ पर दरारें पड़ रही हैं, उस एरिया में सबसे पहले उनकी सबकी जान माल की सुरक्षा हो, सबको ठीक स्थानों पर लाया जाए और जो भी बचाव के लिए ज़रूरी हो वो सब करने के लिए वहाँ पर आपदा प्रबंधन के हमारे सचिव और कमिश्नर लगातार कैंप कर रहे हैं। रेस्क्यू करना पड़ा या उनके रहने के लिए अगर स्थान बनाना हो, तो उसके लिए ज़रूरी जो काम है SDRF भी करेगी, अन्य विभाग भी करेंगे और यहाँ से भी हम लोग देख रहे हैं।
Times Now viewers visited a hospital that is on the verge of collapse. Huge cracks were spotted here in the walls and floors. Even the roof not spared. The hospital, just like other buildings, is now a ticking time bomb.
जोशीमठ की तमाम इमारतों में दरार बढ़ रही है। नवभारत लगातार आपको तस्वीरें दिखा रहा है। ये जोशीमठ का सामुदायिक स्वास्थ्य केंद्र, ऊपर अगर आप देखें तो लोगों की भीड़ जो है जमा है। ये वो लोग हैं जो आज मेडिकल कैंप के लिए यहाँ पहुंचे हैं, लेकिन क्या ये सामुदायिक स्वास्थ्य केंद्र बचेगा? दरारें देखिए आप, दरारों की का सिलसिला में दिखाना शुरू करता हूँ। ये देखिए, यहाँ देखिए, ये इतनी चौड़ी दरार जो है, ये देखिए यहाँ से गहरी होती जा रही है। दरारें देखिए कितनी गहरी। आपको और दिखाऊं मरीज किस हालात में है यहाँ पर। ये देखिए, इधर आइए आप मेरे साथ। ये आपातकालीन कक्ष है। ये देखिए आपातकालीन कक्ष जोशीमठ के सामुदायिक स्वास्थ्य केंद्र का। और यहाँ पर देखिए मरीज जो हैं इस इमरजेंसी वार्ड में जो है इस वक्त बेड पर एडमिट हैं। और यहाँ पर आपको नीचे दरार तो नजर आएगी, लेकिन क्या इस इमरजेंसी रूम ये जो है बचेगा? ये देखिए हालत देखिए आप यहाँ की, पूरी तरह से ये जो है क्षतिग्रस्त हो चुका है और कभी भी हालात खराब हो सकते हैं। यहाँ पर एक मरीज जो है यहाँ इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन में है और यहाँ पर किस तरह के हालात हैं, किस तरह की इमरजेंसी सिचुएशन है। दरारें आपको हम लगातार दिखा रहे हैं। पूरा ये सामुदायिक स्वास्थ्य केंद्र आप देखिए, ये अलग अलग कमरे, अलग अलग विभाग और यहाँ के लिए सबसे बड़ी सरकारी सुविधा। ये देखिए यहाँ की दरार आप देखिए कितनी भयावह है और चूंकि ये दिन ब दिन संभवतः जो है चौड़ी हो रही है। ये देखिए ऊपर तक आप देखिए, पूरी छत जो है ये इमारत जो है सामुदायिक स्वास्थ्य केंद्र की क्या बचेगी, ये कह पाना मुश्किल है। और ये तस्वीर हम आपको दिखा इसलिए रहे हैं क्योंकि जो हालात बने हैं, ऐसी स्थिति में सामुदायिक स्वास्थ्य केंद्र पर भी खतरा मंडरा रहा है। और ये खतरा सिर्फ जो है जोशीमठ पर ही नहीं, जोशीमठ के लोगों पर है। जोशीमठ की जो मानवीय सभ्यता है, यहाँ का इतिहास है, उन सभी पर बड़ा प्रश्न चिन्ह है। मुख्यमंत्री धामी पहुंच रहे हैं, क्या वैकल्पिक व्यवस्था करेंगे, लोगों के रहने की वैकल्पिक व्यवस्था हो जाएगी, उनके इलाज की क्या व्यवस्थाएं होंगी, ऐसे तमाम बड़े सवाल जो हैं वो मुबाए खड़े हुए हैं इस वक्त उत्तराखंड प्रशासन और भारत सरकार के सामने।
बड़ा टूटने वाले हैं सब, यही हालत रहेगा, टूटेंगे। इसमें देखभाल तो कुछ नहीं हो रहा, देखभाल कुछ नहीं हो रहा, इतने साल से वैसे पड़ा।
सबसे बड़ा हेल्थ सेंटर
यही है, जन से यही है।
Now, this was a report from a hospital, but there's more. Two hotels in Joshimath are also being called as ticking time bombs. They're leaning onto each other. Here is what Mohit Bhatt found out.
We are reporting from these two hotels. Now, everybody must have seen all these visuals of all these two hotels, Hotel Mount View and Hotel Malari Inn. Both the hotels have tilted towards each other, and the situation is very, very serious as of now. You can see that how huge cracks have developed on the roads over here. Any moment, these buildings can come down. Look at these visuals over here. These are horrifying visuals. Now, if I try to put my hand inside these cracks, it can easily go inside, and so you can.
Many experts have studied the geography of Joshimath and have expressed concern over the gradual subsidence. 4 decades later, look at what's happening on the ground. In fact, in 2021, just the last year, the Supreme Court verdict on the Char Dham road project underlined some of these concerns. Let's go over them. Ziad, my colleague, is with us with that report. Yes, Ziad.
Yes, we have the Supreme Court judgment dated December 2021 with me right here. But let me put things into perspective here, Pranesh. Now, the Supreme Court had formed a high-powered committee to look into the environmental concerns that were raised at that time. And that committee was chaired by Ravi Chopra. And that committee, said that, that area was ecologically fragile and red flagged the construction of bypass in that sensitive area. Now, the High Court at that time took into consideration this country's security concerns and gave a go-ahead to Ministry of Defense. But, while passing that verdict, it also had a note of caution. Now, what that note of caution was, I'll just read out that excerpt of the judgment. It says, we thus allow Ministry of Defense by permitting the DLPS configuration for the 3 strategic highways in respect of which relief has been claimed. At the same time, we have also taken note of the environmental concerns which have been raised by the HPC, that is the high-powered committee which is formed by the Supreme Court for the entirety of the project. We have noted that the HPC's unanimous recommendations for taking remedial measures and direct that they have to be implemented by the MORTH, that is Ministry of Railway, Ministry of Roads and Transport and Highways, and Ministry of Defense going forward. So the Supreme Court verdict clearly said that you have to take note of the HPC's unanimous recommendation for taking remedial measures. Now the question is, were these remedial measures taken or not?
Thank you, Ziad. Let's open this up. Dr. Anil Gupta, Professor and Head of NIDM, the Climatic Disaster Organization. Soumya Datta, Co-Convener, South Asian People's Action on Climate Crisis, is with us. Now, Dr. Gupta,
yeah.
Are you surprised by the pictures beaming out of Joshimath, or you think this was waiting to happen?
Are you asking me? Well, my direct comment on this is that it is not a great surprise, because Himalayan systems are known as the fragile systems, and if we look at the geography of Uttarakhand, Uttarakhand has a history of various disasters, and these kind of cracks also, though now those are we are seeing in more intensive kind of this thing, but those many cracks are there for quite long time. And now, because of the subsistence that it is the land is taking place, now the infrastructure is getting affected. Houses and many buildings are getting affected greatly. But these are not the first time that is happening. Now there are impact of various geological process as well as the anthropogenic interventions also. That is known to aggravate these kind of challenges. Yeah.
Professor C.S. Dubey, geoscientist, also joins the panel. But before I bring him in, Soumya Datta, what should the government do? What should the people do, more importantly?
I mean, are you asking me to explain? I can't hear you clearly.
Yes, sir. That's for you.
Okay. See, this is nothing new, as Dr. Anil Gupta has said, but the things that have been done, and Joshimath will sink someday, that was known not from today, it was known from very long. In fact, Joshimath should never have been allowed to build up as a town of 18 to 20,000 people, considering there are 4 clear reasons why this is happening today. One is Joshimath itself is built on a rubble of a very earlier landslide. It's not on solid rock, not even in consolidated mountainside. It is on a rubble of an earlier landslide. So it's loose, this internal cohesion of the base is low. Second, if you look at the Misra Commission report of 1976, they specifically recommended that any construction project here should be very careful. You should not remove boulders, should not do blasting. The Char Dham Road project, the hydroelectric project with tunnels being built are doing exactly that. They are doing blasting, they are removing huge boulders. So the rubble beneath Joshimath is getting shaken up. The third reason is Joshimath sits very close to thrust lines, main central thrust, which is reason for the main central Himalayan, and the Vaikrita thrust. Joshimath sits almost right on top. So the number of minor earthquakes also have shaken up continuously the cohesion of the underlying rubble. And the fourth reason is very clearly not taking into care the science of a slope. If you allow a lot of water to seep into a very loose underlying ground, so then it is on a slope, it's very clear it is going to slide down. And on top of that, you have allowed a lot of big buildings to come up in the same on this underlying rubble, which is creating a lateral pressure for a sliding down. And that's exactly what is happening today. In fact, if Misra Commission report has been taken care of, if these hydroelectric projects and this kind of massive construction had been prevented, Joshimath would have probably survived for another 50
Datta,
years.
Will it then be wrong to say that this is a result of mindless expansion?
Pardon? Can you repeat this question?
Will it be wrong to say that, sir, this is a result, what's happening in Joshimath today as we speak is a result of mindless expansion?
See, the sound is really quite...
Okay, I'll put that to Dr. Anil Gupta, sir, if you've got my question.
See, though this matter is quite serious, but my reaction would be little, I would say that there are 2 aspects which I would like to focus. One is that over the years we are seeing these kind of disasters. Maybe there are many kind of disasters which are coming in a more creeping way, so growing slowly and then building up and then taking a much severe form. And there are certain sudden disasters like earthquake, landslide, these kind of disasters. And these kind of disasters, more particularly when we look at the hill perspective, the Himalayan states. But what is more important here that most of the time we are looking at more event-centric approach, or they very specific aspects and not actually in a broader perspective. If we look at broader perspective, then we will see that the two kind of aspirations basically which are also equally important. As I was listening to the initiatives after the situation has come up, that how government is trying to tackle the situation, because immediate requirement is of rehabilitation, relief. Certainly, that's very, very important. And then looking at the long-term initiatives also. But what kind of development design has to be there suitable for a hilly region? And then in the hilly region also, the site to site, it would differ. And second thing is that most of the time we are looking at immediate solutions. See, in a fragile systems like Himalayas, the immediate solutions are not possible. Basically, we will have to see what are the immediate interventions, what are the medium-term interventions, and what are the long-term interventions that would be needed.
Okay.
So we'll have to see the geological history, the history of disasters. We also have to see the developmental needs, basically, and the developmental needs with reference to the local requirements. And many times these requirements put additional pressure for infrastructure growth. And then how do we adjust with the side
I understand.
effects?
So you're saying that we must always keep sustainability in mind while we are focusing on expanding. Now, Professor C.S. Dubey is finally with us. He's a geoscientist. Professor, thank you for joining us. I just want to know your views on what is next for Joshimath, the town that is sinking. What should be done?
Look, it's a long story. It's not now that it's happening. It's happening since I visited once in 2003-4 on this area, and still there were a lot of landslides going on, a lot of things. We did some kind of beryllium-10 dating, and we found that this zone is very active as per tectonic morphology. And most of the rocks here are, they're landsliding due to because you have main central thrust, you have the Helang thrust, you have lots of thrust and active tectonics is there. So when there is an active tectonics and all, you can see that the orographic precipitation is also concentrated in this zone, because most of the landslides happens due to the rainfall, heavy rainfall in the area. At one time there was rainfall up to 200 millimeter, which is the threshold for a cloudburst and a landslide together. So these things are happening there. They need a microzonation, microseismic zonation. They need a landslide hazard. There are a lot of landslide hazard zonations are already there, but the progress is not much because of the engineering. Because when the engineering is there, engineering sees direct that which is the shortest way. They don't see how the rocks are behaving in the area, whether they are soft rocks, they are hard rocks, and what is the implication of when the water is flowing in these rocks. So I think that you have to have a big plan over here, a disaster management plan, and most of the evacuation is right. We had once visited Sikkim, where we had a big Chandmari landslide, which happened and 60 people died immediately. It was only due to because there was no warning system. So there must be you should have some warning system over there, which should be there immediately when such things are happening. If it's sinking, so you can put piezometers, so can you see that how fast sinking is going on. So you need a lot of monitoring in these areas.
Thank you, Professor. That was comprehensive indeed. And Dr. Anil Gupta, Swami Datta, thank you for joining us on Times Now. Let's just pray for the people of Joshimath, and let's just hope that whatever the government plans to do happens quickly and in a way that it does not further damage the area and the geographical terrain that Joshimath has. Taking a quick break, lots more lined up on the other side, viewers. Stay with us.